time, I'd like to call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Harlingen City Commission, which has been duly posted, to order, and call upon Commissioner Uribe to lead us in an invocation.
Dear Lord, first let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health you have given each of us. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thank you for the freedom to embrace you. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for your boundless and gracious nature. In the scriptures you have said that citizens ought to obey governing authorities, since you have established those very authorities to promote peace, order, and justice. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city officials, and in particular for this assembled council. I am asking that you will graciously grant us wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even where there is honest disagreement, personal peace in our lives, enjoying our tasks. I pray for the agenda set before us today. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved city. It is in your most blessed name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Welcome, everyone. We're glad to have you here in our meeting today. The first item on the agenda is a presentation of some proclamations, and we'll go ahead and do that now. The proclamation is by centenary of the birth of Baha'i Law. You have somebody here that's going to proceed that proclamation. I'd like to join me up here. You can,
you have 9 people.
All of your groups can come.
You come up in here?
Yes.
All right, we have a proclamation, and I'll read that to you. Whereas the Baha'i community in Harlingen, Texas was established in 1977, and whereas the crying need of humanity is the achievement of unity, peace, and justice in our communities. And whereas in the 19th century, Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, brought a message of human dignity, capacity, and oneness suited to the requirements of contemporary life. And October 22nd, 2017 marks the 200th anniversary of the birth of Baha'u'llah. And whereas since 1977, the Baha'i community in Harlingen, Texas has striven to apply the vision to the material and spiritual life of Harlingen, collaborating with others to promote unity and to serve their fellow citizens. And whereas the Baha'i is of Harlingen and their families, friends, neighbors, and colleagues are commemorating this bicentenary along with Baha'is across the United States and around the world. Now, therefore, I, Chris Boswell, Mayor of the City of Harlingen, hereby declare Sunday, October 22nd, 2017, as bicentenary of the birth of Baha'u'llah in the city, and urge all to resolve on this day to promote in themselves and in their relations with others those qualities and attributes that will help bring about the recognition of the oneness of humanity, to embrace diversity, and to work for unity in our local community, our country, and the world. Thank you very much for bringing this to our community. Next proclamation we have on the agenda is Grand Valley Hispanic Genealogical Society Fund. And we'd like to ask Mary Flores. Unofficial historians of the city of Harlingen for group up here to receive this proclamation. Whereas the Grand Valley Hispanic Genealogical Society started as a small group of people wanting to get together to compare and share genealogy information, and whereas in 2008 this group became a part of the Texas Genealogical Society of Harlingen and specialized in Hispanic research. And whereas in 2010 the group incorporated and has evolved into an independent society whose members are enthusiastically sharing and researching their family history. Whereas the Grand Valley Hispanic Genealogical Society is a nonprofit organization that is interested in promoting genealogy, protecting all genealogical records, and acquiring resources for the genealogical community. And whereas the Grand Valley Hispanic Genealogical Society specializes in Hispanic research and offers help to all who are interested in searching their ancestors. Whereas the Grand Valley Hispanic Society hosts monthly educational programs, conducts beginning genealogy classes, sponsors seminars and conferences, and promotes speakers to community groups. And whereas individuals do not have to be of Hispanic origin to receive the society's services, and whereas the Grand Valley Hispanic Genealogical Society has completed the following projects: transcribed the Harlingen City Cemetery, conducted cemetery tours, purchased genealogy books for the Harlingen Public Library, indexed Cameron County and Northern Mexico records, published 2 books, one of family stories and the other an award winner, are Heroes, Hispanic Veterans of the Rio Grande Valley, and an annual journal, whereas the Rio Grande Valley Hispanic Society encourages Hispanics to participate, get involved in community organizations and projects. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Chris Boswell, Mayor of the City of Harlingen, on behalf of the City Commission and in honor of National Hispanic History Month, declare September 15th through October 2017 as the Rio Grande Valley Hispanic Genealogical Society Month. So congratulations, Mary, and to all of you who worked so hard with this organization. You all have done so many great things for our community, and we thank you for the service that you all give to us. And the third proclamation will be proclaiming October 19th, 21st, and November 2nd through 4th, and November 16th through the 18th. It's Harlingen Professional Firefighters Local Fill the Boot Day. So if the chief would like to bring you up along with our NBA representatives and other firefighters involved in this. Whereas the Harlingen professional firefighters are the prime example of public service and sacrifice, displaying the nobility to protect the citizens of our community every day. And whereas the Harlingen professional firefighter members are highly dedicated and trained individuals who demonstrate American ideals, the ultimate stamp of character and courage in the face of danger. And whereas the Harlingen professional firefighter members selflessly contribute their time and energy fighting for kids and adults with muscular dystrophy, ALS, related to life-threatening diseases, and severely limit muscle strength and mobility by filling the boot each year with the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And whereas in the past 5 years, the Harlingen professional firefighters have raised more than $120,000 for NDA through the annual Fill the Boot campaign. And whereas the Harlingen professional firefighters' endless service to NDA has given so much hope for families fighting life-threatening muscle diseases, be it resolved that I, Mayor Chris Boswell, of the City of Harlingen, Texas, do hereby proclaim October 19th through the 21st, November 2nd to the 4th, and November 16th to the 18th as Harlingen Professional Firefighters Local Fill the Boot Days in Harlingen, Texas, and urge all citizens to join in promoting awareness of spinal muscular dystrophy. So with that to you and thank our thank our firefighters in Harlingen for supporting this great organization. It's a very worthy cause. It really is an example of how our firefighters really got a mile of service. Thank you.
Skip the recognition. I'll let her speak at the time. Okay, I'm gonna, without objection, I'm gonna take a couple of the items out of order and go to item 5, which is consideration and possible action to approve a resolution relating to the border wall. So, you have in your agenda, a packet, proposed resolution relating to this issue. If you had an opportunity to look at, we do have some people that have signed up for this item on. We do have some, one person who has signed up for this matter, Joyce Hamilton, if you'd like to come up and just make a very brief presentation. Yeah,
2 minutes is
would be good. And,
Okay. Thank you. I want to ask if one other person in our group could take a 2-minute interval as well.
Sure.
Jody Goodwin also had
Okay.
something prepared. I want to start by mentioning the preservation of habitat. Not everyone understands why that's such an important thing. Every species of plant or animal lives naturally in a preferred habitat. Good habitat for an animal provides food, water, shelter, and a suitable place to raise their young. Without a good natural habitat, an animal population simply cannot survive. And overall, the most important aspect of wildlife conservation is habitat preservation. The thorn scrub habitat that we have in the lower Rio Grande Valley is supportive of iconic species like the endangered ocelot, for example. And by preserving and protecting that habitat, we also ensure suitable habitat for countless other species as well that are part of that ecosystem. Over the past several decades, there's been considerable effort on the part of many, many people in the Rio Grande Valley, and you may all be part of it. Some of you may have been part of that effort to preserve and protect and even revive extensive parts of the Rio Grande corridor through the lower Rio Grande Valley in order to protect those species and in order to protect the very small remaining approximate 5% of what used to be a wild natural habitat in the valley. We are, with the current federal administration's border fencing plan, which includes levee walls, fencing, and other approaches, there is a considerable danger of reversing all of that very intensive effort that has happened over the past approximately 3 decades. So my focus here right now is more than 2 minutes, evidently, but I do want to just say that it's extremely important to us to see that not just Santa Ana, but all of those wildlife preserves along the river protected and from this particular fencing plan. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Mayor, if I may. Jody Goodwin, Mayor, Commissioners, thank you for a brief opportunity to address this issue. I've been working with a group in the Rio Grande Valley, specifically in Harlingen, that has been working tirelessly for the last 4 months to get the Rio Grande Valley border cities and counties on board to oppose the administration's proposed border wall and levee walls. Specifically, I wanted to bring up one point with regard to the fiscal responsibility of an action like the proposed border wall. The budgets that have been proposed have been anywhere from $1.6 billion up to $3 billion. And this is money that could be spent much more wisely in investing in infrastructure here in the Rio Grande Valley that would provide better border security. And if you look at research that security experts have conducted, it will show that the least effective way to be able to protect or secure our border is through the use of the wall. So in the interest of the fiscal concerns, I'm urging the commissioners and the mayor to sign on to this resolution and join not only Hidalgo and Cameron County as well as Starr County, but 15 other municipalities that have also signed on to a similar resolution. And with that, I know that we as a small city can't do anything to stop that legislation in Congress in and of itself, but I think as a combined, unified force of the individual cities and counties that are affected by this, we can certainly make a statement to those representatives and senators in Congress. And I'm urging you to sign on to this resolution today. Thank you.
Technically, we're a medium-sized city.
Medium-sized cities. In that case, I would urge you to join the other medium-sized cities along the valley, the Rio Grande Valley as well, to sign on to this resolution.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything?
Your Honor, I had also, according to Mr. DeLue, I had also signed up on this particular topic, and maybe Ms. Elizondo also noted it. I think we're a big city. I think we're a big city, and in that regard, I had an enlightening conversation with one of you about the ability to so far in our hurricane season avoid getting hit. And though we're unscathed, it should give us a sobering pause about what tampering with a pseudo dam could cause havoc on both sides of the border. The issue is rife with political grandstanding, when 1 month the instigator poo-paws its urgency, and after noticing the political winds, does a 180-degree about-face. However he fares, the ones that suffer are us if we allow this wall to be built. People cross the border for ages because of hunger. No artificial barrier will hamper a parent from being just that, a loving parent. So I ask you to not just be concerned with environmental issues. People are important too, and that's what makes us a big city. Thank you.
Is there a motion to adopt the resolution of the City of Harlingen relating to a border wall and fence at Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge as presented?
So moved. Second.
Any other discussion? All of
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
We're not a border city. We missed the border by a mile. We're concerned with the goings-on of the city. This is a federal issue. We have senators, we have congressmen from the valley, and that they should be the ones to be addressed, not us.
Okay. Any other?
Yes. I believe the resolution is addressing only a border wall at Santa Ana and none of the other border wall. And I want to make it very clear that if we vote on this and it's approved, that we're not joining any coalition about not having a border wall. All we're agreeing to is that there will be no border wall through Santa Ana. And if that's correct, I need somebody to state that that's the motion that we're taking, because if not, everything that's been presented is not what is on this resolution.
Right. Well, if you look at the last paragraph of the resolution,
I understand, Mayor, but
it
the testimony that we have
primarily does address I'll just read it. The City Commission endorses a border security strategy on the Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge that is minimally intrusive on natural habitat, preserving and protecting the old growth native forest from the proposed 150-foot clearance for fencing and lighting, and preserving public access for tourists and residents who have enjoyed its natural space since its dedication in 1943.
Correct. And so I just want to make sure that we're very clear that we're not joining a total wall ban, only that there should not be a wall in Santa Ana. which does not include the Sable Palm Grove, does not include the Butterfly, just Santa Ana.
Okay. Well, it's limited, yeah, it's limited to
I
what.
just want to make sure.
Limited to what to what it says. So,
We had a motion to
anybody else? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, well. The motion does not carry and the resolution is not passed. Let's go to, we're gonna take an item out of order, another item out of order, and that's gonna be our, executive session item 15, executive session, closed session on the following items pursuant to Chapter 551, Subchapter D, UTCA Government Code Sections 551, .087, .0871, .072, regarding commercial and financial information from a business prospect with which the city is conducting economic development negotiations or to discuss or deliberate financial and other incentives with the business prospect known as HFDC. And item B, the same thing, with a business prospect known as Waterside, and to seek legal advice from the city attorney, and also pursuant to Section 551, Texas Government Code, to consult and assign counsel in connection with the MPO merger. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. We're out of executive session at 6:35. Okay. So you want to go do it? Let's do it. Okay. Item 2 is special recognition to the Finance Department for receipt of GFOA's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for fiscal year ended 2016.
Mayor, Commissioner, as always, Elvia and her staff have done a fantastic job in our finance department. And they, once again, have received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. We're very proud of them. I'd like to have them come up, maybe take a picture with our mayor. Have Elvia Trevino, our finance director, and Sergio Villasana, our deputy finance director, come up. They sit in their office, and they end up in my office a lot. And we go back and forth, and they do a wonderful job, Elvia and her staff. And we want to recognize them for a job well done.
Let's get the whole commission up here in front. Take a picture right up here in front.
Yeah.
You know what, let's give them a round.
We've got to go out like the
You
Bluey.
got it back up.
And all go at the same time.
So come on up here then. Oh, yeah.
And you can say a few words if you want.
They got it backwards.
Okay.
It's okay to
Okay.
write about this too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well, we're very proud. Thank you.
And she wants to say something.
We
So.
take a lot of pride in our job. We
Congratulations.
like our job.
Congratulations.
Well, I do. I don't know about
Thank you,
Sergio.
and thank you.
And it's a great place to be. You know that, right? And I do want to say that we actually this bar was set up years ago. We started getting this award in 1994, and everyone is very cautious about not being the first one not to get the award. So as we change different personnel, we say, okay, guys, and we do work together with our external auditors, and they do a great job of guiding us, making sure that this award is gotten every year. It's tedious, and we don't have to. You know, we can still issue our financial report and not present it for an award. And that way we don't have to do the extra work that goes into it. But we do, because we're not gonna be the first one not to get it, so.
Well, your sense of pride shows.
Yeah.
I'm very
Well,
proud
it
of you.
always results in a great document that it really explains what the city does and what the city does with their money, and that's, I think, really, really important for the public to be able to count on that. So, again, congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll keep trying.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Item 3 is the approval of the minutes of the special meeting of August 11th, 2017, and the special joint meeting of Harlingen City Commission, Harlingen Community Improvement Board of September 1st, 2017. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Consent agenda items 4A through J. Is there a motion to adopt the
So moved, Mayor.
Second. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. All right. We've got item 5. Item 6, consideration of possible action to approve an ordinance on first reading, adopting settlement agreement, setting rates and establishing tariffs for provision of natural gas service by Texas Gas Service Company, Division of One Gas, Inc., within the city of Harlingen, declaring this ordinance to be a final determination of rates, requiring acceptance by the Texas Gas Service Company of the rates prescribed herein, and establishing an effective date.
Mayor, Mr. Commission, City Manager, on July 5th, the city voted to suspend the Texas gas service rates and hire Thomas Proclamations with the law firm of Lloyd Gosling and Rochelle through the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council. Texas Gas Service had proposed an increase of $5.1 million. Through the negotiations, Thomas was able to bring it down to $4.1 million. I know it's a hefty amount. Staff is recommending adoption of the rates and approval of the settlement agreement. If we do have options, if we choose not to adopt these rates, we would have to actually hire our own bond counsel, our own legal counsel, and our own consultants to actually try to negotiate lower rates. I'm not sure how successful that would be. Thomas does this for a living, so we're recommending that we approve the settlement agreement and on first reading.
Mayor, I'll ask Alan, there was a deadline to have this done by, right? But we're going to be able to go ahead and have the second reading at the first meeting in November?
As long as we do the first reading tonight or prior to October 27th, we'll be fine.
Okay.
I did send an email to Thomas letting him know that we wouldn't have it until November 2nd for the second reading, and he said that would be fine.
Yeah, we checked with.
Okay, will you read the caption, please?
Yes, ma'am. An ordinance adopting unanimous settlement agreement, setting rates and establishing tariffs for the provision of natural gas service by Texas Gas Service Company, a division of One Gas, Inc., within the city of Harlingen, Texas, declaring this ordinance to be a final determination of rates, requiring acceptance by Texas Gas Service Company of the rates prescribed herein, and establishing an effective date.
All right, is there a motion to adopt the ordinance on the first reading?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Okay, I'm gonna skip item 7. You have an abstention affidavit. I need an abstention. I'm gonna go on to items 8, 9, 10, and 11. Which is going to be consideration of possible action to approve fire protection service contract between the city of Harlingen and Cameron County Emergency Services District Number 1 for fiscal year 2017-18 to provide fire protection services for a cost of $221,371.74 payable in quarterly installments. On 9, with the City of Combs, at a cost of $88,254.57. On 10, with the City of Palm Valley for $118,385.29. And on 11, with the City of Primera for $112,755.96.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. Sedna. As you mentioned before you, you have the annual renewal contracts for fire protection. Do I take them one at a time or all of them at the same time?
Well, I mean, they're all the same
Pretty standard.
thing, they're just different amounts, and it seemed to me like
Well,
we can take them up separately if you need to. I didn't want to read all
Separate.
4 of them,
Yep.
some read the same thing.
Just go ahead and do them separately, Chief, and
All right.
we'll vote on them separately.
Very good. The renewal for fire protection between the City of Harlingen and Cameron County, as you mentioned, $221,371.14 with quarterly installments. That's an increase from last year of $13,138. Staff recommends approval. The contract has already been reviewed by our council.
It's a
Again,
$13,000 increase?
$13,138.
How do we check their methodology? I know that the emergency services district is 10 cents a hundred, is that right? For
That's
people
correct.
that are outside of the city in the rural areas.
Yes, sir.
And so, I'm assuming that 10 cents gets divvied up a little bit for administrative costs, because that's the Cameron County,
ESD.
ESD number 1, is that who?
That's correct. They prepare the final figures for us to be presented to the communities as we go into negotiation with contracts.
I don't know how closely we look at how they calculate those numbers, whether it's based on the number of calls or based on the size of the area that we cover, but I would think it would behoove us to at least look at that and make sure that we're getting the amount we're supposed to get.
All right, we could do that. We will make contact with ESD.
Because part of it goes to EMS, correct?
They
Is
pay.
that a different district?
Out of the same ESD district, they break down the services that are provided for the county rural area for EMS, fire, and EMS services and fire protection. And we have our portion of it based on the amount of the 10% per evaluation. And we have an X amount of money that is forwarded to us. We will follow through with your recommendation to make sure that we audit a little bit closer.
Yeah, we will follow up and
Yes.
ask the right questions, so. Okay.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the contract under item 8?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries.
Mayor, the next one we have is a contract between the City of Combs and City of Harlingen. Again, 10 cents per 100 valuation based on the city's 2017 certified next taxable value. Compensation of $88,254.57. This is for the City of Combs. It's an increase of $4,655.17. We have again looked at the contracts. Staff recommends approval.
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. All right, item 10.
This contract between the City of Palm Valley and the City of Harlingen, again, 10 cents per 100 valuation, installments of, a total amount of $118,385.29, installments of $29,596.32. Palm Valley is an increase of $2,429.09. Staff recommends approval.
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
May I ask something?
Yes.
What are we doing with the monies of the increase? Is that in our budget already? Did you account for that, those increases already? General, is that-
On the revenue side, I think we used last year's numbers.
We used to,
So, do you have anything, where does that go, where does this money go?
It'll go into a revenue account, and it'll stay in a revenue account unless we make a budget amendment to utilize it on the expense side.
Okay. We did vote. I thought we voted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Item 11.
Yes, Mayor, this is a contract between the City of Primera and the City of Harlingen at a compensation of $112,755.96. This is an increase for the City of Primera of $6,155.76. Again, staff recommends approval.
And motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Good question, Commissioner.
What's
That's a good question.
Okay.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to vacate the chair and leave the chamber so you can take up item 7. I'll file that into abstention.
Let the record show that the mayor is out of the room. Item number 7, a public hearing to consider an ordinance on first reading to rezone from neighborhood services district to general retail district for Lot 1, Block 4, Coronado Acre Subdivision, located at 720 North 77 Sunshine Strip. The applicant is Ricky Leal, First Community Bank. Mr. Rodrigo, you have the floor.
Thank you, Commissioner, Mayor Pro Temp, and Commission. This applicant is requesting to rezone the subject property from neighborhood services to general retail. The owner right now of the property has potential buyers and they want to be able to offer it, market it better. Neighborhood services kind of limits them to what they can do, and by rezoning it to general retail, it's going to give them an opportunity to propose it to more people and possibly have, they did list 2 potential buyers, or a buyer with 2 potential businesses for a hair salon and yoga studio, but it hasn't been finalized yet. Obviously, they're waiting to see if it goes to general retail. Those are only allowed in general retail. The existing 1,656 square foot building on the subject property fronts 77 Sunshine Strip. It was previously used before as a home health administrative office, and it also has been used as a hearing aid testing and sales office. The surrounding properties, land uses with general retail consist of a cash pawn, single family residence on the other side, and El Mercado Shopping Center. The future land use map is consistent, the request for new zoning is consistent with our future land use map for general retail zoning in the area. At present time, planning and zoning has not received any objection from any of the neighbors that were notified, and the planning and zoning board and staff recommends approval. Yes, sir.
Neighborhood services, so a pawn shop qualifies for neighborhood services?
No, that is what's surrounding the area that, to be consistent with general retail.
I saw that the pawn shop is also pink, that's why I'm asking the question.
Right, because by the time that it got rezoned, it was already in existence, so it's kind of non-conforming use already.
Okay. And so we're going to allow this because doctor's office and daycare would be neighborhood service, but if it was a beauty salon, it would have to be retail?
Correct.
Okay.
Just, they have a lot more opportunities as general retail.
You want to open?
Yeah. This is a public hearing, so I'd like to open up the public hearing. Anyone would like to speak for or against this proposal?
I'm against it.
Ma'am, please identify
I was
your
about
name
to.
and your address.
I was about to. My name's Yolanda Shop, 280 Altas Palmas. I'm against it because to me, this is more like a spot zoning, I think. And it's against the law to have a spot zoning.
Are there any other comments from the public? Then we close the public hearing. Commissioners, do you have any other questions? And so then we go to B, consideration and possible action to approve an ordinance on the first reading to rezone the above described property from neighborhood services district to general retail district. Mr. Attorney, do you have anything to read on this?
Yes, so I'm going to read caption.
Please.
An ordinance amending the code of ordinances of the city of Harlingen, rezoning from neighborhood services, NS district, to general retail, GR district, for lot 1, block 4, Coronado Acres Subdivision located at 720 North 77 Sunshine Strip, providing for publication and ordaining other matters related to the proclamation.
Would someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Item 12 is consideration of possible action to approve the preliminary rankings for architectural as recommended by the evaluation committee and authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a contract for associated architectural engineering services pursuant to the city's request for qualifications number 2017-06 for Phase 1 of Biloxi Hill Destination Park.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commissioners. What you have before you is, in your backup, is the ranking for the firms that submitted proposals to the city. In June 2016, the City Commission approved the conceptual design and cost estimates for the destination park. In April 2017, we advertised for RFQs. On May 9, 2017, proposals were received at Purchasing Department. And in September 1st, 2017, there was a joint meeting between the City Commission and the Harlingen Community Improvement Board. And they had approved Phase 1 design and the cost estimate. And so on September 26th, the ranking committee submitted their ranks or their scoring to my office. And the backup is the table that shows the ranking for each firm. We received 12 responses. The preliminary ranking shows GMS Architects, Inc. as the highest ranked firm. The entire project, of course, is estimated to be $8.5 million. We broke it into 5 phases, and what we're looking at is designing Phase 1 and going out for construction for Phase 1. Phase 1 will include the entry court, the center plaza, improvement and closure of L and L1/2 Street, walkways, parking lots or spaces, the large pavilion, restrooms, landscaping, and site drainage.
Javier, who is GMS Architects and where are they from?
They're from Brownsville. David is with us this evening. They're out of Brownsville, and they have worked on several park projects before. Personally, I've dealt with them when I was with the county, and they did do the conceptual design for us for this project as well. And the three, the committee that ranked them was Mr. Carlos Sanchez, Martha Villada, and myself.
And the cost of this project?
It's $2.6 million.
The initial phase that you're talking
For Phase 1.
Okay, and what is the cost to hire this firm?
Well, that's going to be negotiated by our city manager.
We haven't negotiated
We have-
that yet, Commissioner. Right now, this is a preliminary ranking, and the way this will work is the city council will authorize us to negotiate. If we can't come to terms, then we'll bring it back and we'll move on to the next highest ranked firm. There's a process involved.
But this firm's been there since day one.
But since they're the highest ranked firm, we'll begin with them, and the intent is to negotiate a favorable contract with them so that we can move forward.
You'll recall that the Community Improvement Board in a joint meeting approved the set-aside of that amount of money, and the commission approved the set-aside of that amount of money. But I think we also noted at that meeting that we haven't really authorized the spending of the money. So this, by getting actual design phase type design work, we would actually will see, everything. I mean, it could change, right?
Yes.
Things could what exactly is in this 2.6 million could change, but we're not really gonna know until we hire the architect to do the design.
Mayor, I'd like the motion for approval.
I'll second that.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 13, consider and possible action to approve agreement with Kiko Construction for the Harlingen Sidewalk Improvement Project subject to negotiation of contract price to an amount within budget based on value engineering.
Mayor, Commissioners, good afternoon. September 18th, we received and opened a total of 3 bids for this project, sidewalk improvement project. The lowest bid for the project was submitted by Kiko Construction in the amount of $523,541.29. And in your packet, we have included the bid tabulation for your review and consideration. The project is over budget by $26,372. The budget amount is $497,169. We, as staff, considered re-advertising this project, but at the same time, we feel that if we are authorized to negotiate with the contractor through value engineering, that we could bring in this project within budget.
I'm sorry, but how would you value engineer the sidewalk? I mean, is it?
Well, we're looking at their bid tabulation as far as the items that have been included, as far as mobilization costs, for example. We're also looking at the
But
site.
not the concrete itself or the.
No, we're not
strength of it, or-
we're not gonna reduce the strength or
Ram
the
strength, like that.
thickness on the sidewalk or the width of the sidewalk. no,
Okay.
sir.
Understood.
So It's more considering field conditions too.
Gotcha.
And so again, the project's partially funded through the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council for $397,735 or 80% of the project. And a 20% match of the city, which is $99,434. Staff's recommending approval of an agreement with Kiko Construction for the Harlingen Sidewalk project, subject to negotiating or being able to negotiate a contract price to an amount within the budget based on value engineering practices.
So the intent is that if we're unable to negotiate a price within budget, then we would rebid this
Yes, sir.
project.
That would be.
Thank you. That was my question.
So we can only sit down and negotiate with the lowest bidder if we're authorized to do so of the commission. So we're asking for that leeway so that we can sit down and talk to them. If we're unable to get to a price that falls within our budget, then we would take it back out and possibly tweak the specs or the plans
Or
themselves.
reduce the scope.
And reduce the scope and then go back out for proposals. But we want to give this an opportunity since we do have these bids. And if we can't get there, we can't get there.
So if you reduce the scope, you would have to rebid.
We'd have to rebid the whole project.
And you're comfortable, just from your initial look-see at the bid, that you feel that you can value engineer it
Yes, sir.
back into the
To within
the allotted
budget.
amount?
Yes, sir.
Talking to Carlos, we feel like there's certain line items that would not impact the scope of work, but that possibly we can talk to them about, that maybe would help bring this project within budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Item 14, are there any board appointments?
I'd like to reappoint Paul Durant to the Harlingen Community Improvement Board.
Yes. I have a brand new appointment, Sally Smith to the Community Development Advisory Board, and Rodrigo Rodriguez to the Harlingen Crowd Advisory Board.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the board appointments?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. We have already conducted items 15 and 16. 16 was part of those people that signed up or spoke on the resolution. So we have concluded the business of the agenda, and we are adjourned. Thank you all.